Nissan just dropped a bombshell that's sending shockwaves through the entire auto industry. Reports are flooding in that Nissan has officially declared bankruptcy. This once mighty automaker, the same company that gave us the legendary GTR and the rugged Frontier, is now standing on the edge of collapse. But here's the wild part. While investors panic and dealerships scramble, everyday buyers are walking into showrooms and walking out with deals so insane, it almost feels illegal. So what happened to Nissan? How did a brand that dominated global markets for decades suddenly crash this hard? Insiders are saying it's been brewing for years. Between falling EV sales, outdated models, and a brutal price war triggered by Tesla and the Chinese automakers, Nissan just couldn't keep up. Their profit margins evaporated, their inventory piled up, and dealerships started slashing prices just to move metal off the lots. Then came the breaking point: massive debts, supply chain chaos, and plunging consumer confidence. Now, bankruptcy filings have confirmed what many feared. Nissan's empire is officially crumbling. But here's where things get crazy. Because of the bankruptcy, dealerships are being ordered to liquidate inventory as fast as possible. Brand new Nissan Rogues, Pathfinders, and even Titans are being listed at record low prices. Some dealers are even offering up to 50% off MSRP, just to keep the lights on. It's a fire sale unlike anything we've seen in years, and buyers are rushing in to grab whatever they can before the company restructures or shuts down production entirely. Sources close to Nissan say the company's been quietly trying to offload assets, close plants, and cut deals with suppliers to stay alive. But the writing's been on the wall for a while. Their EV program failed to compete with Tesla, BYD, and even Kia. The area, once touted as Nissan's big comeback, never gained traction. Production costs skyrocketed, and sales nosedived. Meanwhile, competition from cheaper, feature-packed EVs from China completely blindsided them. The result? Nissan lost its grip on key markets like North America and Europe, and now they're paying the price, literally. Car buyers who've been waiting for the perfect moment to score a new ride might be looking at the opportunity of a lifetime. There are reports of 2024 Altimas being sold for under $20,000, and Titans going for prices that make used trucks look expensive. Dealerships are desperate to move these cars before they're left holding the bag if Nissan's operations freeze. Some are even including free maintenance packages or extended warranties, just to get people in the door. Analysts are calling this the beginning of the great auto correction. For years, automakers have been inflating prices, stacking on dealer markups, and expecting buyers to keep paying more for less. But now, the market's flipping. Consumers are in control, and Nissan's collapse might just spark a domino effect across the entire industry. Because if Nissan can fall, who's next? Honda? Mazda? Even Toyota's watching this very closely because a bankruptcy of this scale changes everything, from supply chains to resale values to brand trust. And let's not forget the human side of this. Thousands of employees, factory workers, and suppliers are suddenly facing massive uncertainty. Plants in Tennessee and Mississippi are already rumored to be halting production. Workers who've been loyal to Nissan for decades are now left wondering if they'll even have jobs next month. The company says it's restructuring, but we've heard that before. This time, it might be too late to turn things around. But what's shocking is how fast this all happened. Just a few years ago, Nissan was boasting record sales. Their SUVs were bestsellers, and their lineup was finally modernizing. Then, overnight, it all unraveled. Between skyrocketing interest rates, slowing demand, and brutal competition from budget EVs, Nissan's balance sheets started bleeding red. By the time executives realized how deep the hole was, bankruptcy was the only way out. And here's the kicker. Some insiders are whispering that certain Nissan dealerships might not even survive the next few weeks. That means massive clearance events, deep liquidation discounts, and trade-in offers that are frankly unbelievable. One dealership reportedly slashed a 2025 Pathfinder Platinum from $52,000 down to $31,000, just to clear inventory before the bankruptcy restructuring freezes assets. Buyers are showing up in droves, and the lines look like Black Friday chaos all over again. But behind the excitement, there's a bigger question. Is this the end of Nissan as we know it, or just the start of something new? Because if history's any guide, Automakers that collapse often rise again under new leadership, sometimes stronger than ever. But this time, the stakes are higher than ever before. The global auto market has changed. EVs dominate, Chinese automakers are expanding fast, and the cost of survival has never been higher. And yet, for the average buyer, this chaos could mean the deal of a lifetime. Because while Nissan's future is uncertain, one thing is crystal clear. Prices are crashing, inventory is overflowing, and if you're in the market for a new car, this might be your moment to strike. Dealers across the country are practically begging people to take cars off their lots. Some are even offering zero down payments, 0% APR for the first year, and cashback incentives that sound too good to be true. It's pure panic selling. And that's exactly what happens when a major automaker goes under. They need quick liquidity, fast, and that means everyday drivers are suddenly walking into deals that were impossible just months ago. The market has flipped overnight, and Nissan's collapse might just be the trigger that resets the entire auto industry. And here's the wild part. Competitors are circling like sharks. Ford, Hyundai, and even Tesla are already preparing to snatch up market share left behind by Nissan's downfall. Some analysts even believe that certain brands are waiting to buy Nissan's assets outright, including their factories and EV platforms, for pennies on the dollar. It's corporate chaos, and everyone's fighting to grab a piece of the carcass before it's gone. Meanwhile, Nissan loyalists, the ones who've been driving Altimas, Frontiers, and Maximas for years, are feeling betrayed. Many are wondering what will happen to warranties, recalls, and future parts support if the company fully collapses. Dealers are assuring customers that everything is still business as usual. But behind the scenes, even they don't know what comes next. Some are quietly pulling inventory from the showroom floor, fearing they'll be stuck with cars they can't sell once the restructuring freezes shipments. Experts are calling this the biggest automotive implosion since the fall of Saturn and Pontiac. The difference this time? The economy's already fragile, interest rates are high, and consumer trust in big automakers is at an all-time low. Nissan's bankruptcy isn't just a company problem. It's a sign of a much deeper issue brewing across the entire car market. For years, automakers have relied on easy loans, inflated MSRPs, and massive dealer markups. But now the bubble's bursting, and Nissan just happened to be the first to pop. And the ripple effects are already spreading. Used car prices, which were sky-high during the pandemic, are now plummeting at record speed. Leasing companies are panicking. Banks are tightening credit. And with Nissan's collapse making headlines, consumers are starting to ask the one question every automaker dreads: is my brand next? Even overseas, the situation looks grim. In Japan, government officials are reportedly stepping in to prevent a total economic fallout, since Nissan is one of the nation's biggest employers. But the problem isn't local anymore, it's global. Nissan's operations stretch from Asia to Europe to North America. Their suppliers, shipping partners, and joint ventures all depend on Nissan's survival. One misstep, and it could send shockwaves through the entire supply chain. What's stunning is how the warning signs were hiding in plain sight. Nissan's sales have been slipping for years. Their EV lineup was stale, their designs lagged behind competitors, and their pricing strategy just didn't make sense in a tightening economy. Yet executives kept reassuring investors that a turnaround was coming. That turnaround never came, and now the collapse is here for everyone to see. But make no mistake, this isn't just about Nissan. This is about the entire auto ecosystem that's been running on borrowed time. The same cracks showing in Nissan's balance sheet are showing everywhere else. Over-leveraged dealerships, bloated inventories, and customers drowning in high car payments. It's all coming to a head, and Nissan just happened to be the first domino to fall. The real question is, how will the rest of the industry respond? Will other automakers slash prices to stay competitive? Will dealerships start liquidating inventory before it's too late? Or will governments step in again, like they did in 2008, to bail out another wave of struggling giants? Because if Nissan can collapse, no one is safe, not even the big players like Ford or GM. And for consumers, this is both thrilling and terrifying. On one hand, there's never been a better time to buy a car. On the other, you have to wonder, what happens if the brand you just bought disappears next year? Will parts be available? Will your warranty still mean anything? Or will your brand new car become a piece of automotive history faster than you can make the first payment? Reports from inside Nissan's headquarters suggest the panic is real. Executives are scrambling to negotiate emergency funding, trying to convince investors that the company can restructure and survive. But sources claim those talks are going nowhere fast. Lenders are nervous, suppliers are demanding payment upfront, and confidence has completely evaporated. It's a financial freefall, and it's happening in real time. The only thing keeping Nissan from total collapse right now is liquidation. That's why dealerships are slashing prices to levels that make jaws drop. In some US states, dealers are reportedly listing brand new 2025 models for below factory invoice, something that was once unthinkable. A brand new Nissan Rogue, which retailed for nearly $30,000 last year, can now be found for around $18,000 in certain liquidation lots. The Titan, Nissan's full-size pickup that once aimed to challenge Ford and Ram, is now being offered with massive rebates, up to $15,000 off MSRP. Even luxury models like the Maxima are being cleared out for less than some used Hondas. It's a buyer's frenzy, and the smart shoppers are wasting no time. But here's the brutal reality. These deep discounts come with a ticking clock. Once the bankruptcy proceedings move forward, production lines could grind to a halt. That means parts, service, and future model support could become scarce overnight. It's a gamble for buyers. Grab a brand new Nissan for a once-in-a-lifetime price, or risk owning a vehicle from a brand that might not exist in a year. Either way, it's chaos on the car lots. Industry insiders say this might be the wake-up call the entire auto market needed. For years, car makers have relied on overpricing, endless fees, and bloated lineups that didn't connect with real buyers. Now, consumers are pushing back. People are tired of paying $50,000 for basic SUVs. They're tired of markups, dealer tricks, and ridiculous financing. Nissan's downfall could mark the start of a massive reset, a return to realistic pricing and genuine value. And here's what's even more shocking. Some analysts think this bankruptcy could actually open the door for foreign takeovers. There are whispers that Chinese automakers like BYD or Geely could swoop in to acquire Nissan's global assets at rock-bottom prices. Imagine that, a Chinese company taking control of one of Japan's most iconic brands. It would be a historic moment that completely rewrites the balance of power in the global auto industry. Meanwhile, the ripple effects are starting to hit Wall Street. Nissan stock has cratered, suppliers are seeing their shares tumble, and investors are suddenly questioning the stability of other legacy automakers. The fear is spreading. If Nissan can go bankrupt, what's stopping other companies that are already on thin ice? Brands like Mitsubishi, Mazda, or even smaller EV startups could be next. For dealerships, though, this is do-or-die time. Many are trying to offload every vehicle they can before the bankruptcy process locks everything down. Some have even stopped ordering new shipments, unsure if Nissan will be able to deliver. Others are pivoting, signing new agreements with other automakers or converting to used car operations to survive the storm. The traditional dealership model is cracking under the pressure, and Nissan's collapse might be the blow that finally breaks it. And while all this unfolds, consumers are flooding social media with videos of the deals they're scoring. TikTok and YouTube are full of people bragging about buying new Nissans for half price or less. It's turning into a national spectacle. Lines of people outside dealerships, prices dropping in real time, and a sense that this is history unfolding before our eyes. But for Nissan, the road ahead looks uncertain. Bankruptcy doesn't always mean the end, but it does mean a brutal transformation. Factories will close, jobs will vanish, and long-time models could be killed off entirely. The Altima, the Pathfinder, even the iconic Z, all of them could be on the chopping block as the company scrambles to survive. Nissan's global footprint is shrinking fast, and unless they pull off a miracle, they might soon join the ranks of fallen automotive legends. And while buyers are celebrating, there's a darker side to this story that no one's talking about. Thousands of Nissan employees across Japan, the US, and Europe are waking up every day not knowing if their paychecks will clear next month. Entire communities that depend on Nissan's factories, like Smyrna, Tennessee, and Canton, Mississippi, are bracing for what could be devastating job losses. These aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. These are real families, mechanics, engineers, and factory workers who built this company from the ground up. And now, through no fault of their own, they're watching everything fall apart. Suppliers, too, are in crisis mode. Small companies that provide parts, from seat fabrics to microchips, are suddenly facing massive unpaid invoices. Some of them rely on Nissan for more than half their business. If those payments stop, they're done. This isn't just one company collapsing. It's a chain reaction that could send shockwaves through the entire automotive ecosystem. It's eerily similar to what happened during the 2008 auto crash, but this time, the stakes are even higher. Financial experts are already warning that this could spark a global confidence crisis in the automotive sector. Investors are pulling money out of auto stocks, banks are tightening credit for dealerships, and new startups are suddenly struggling to find funding. It's like watching a slow-motion avalanche. Nissan's collapse is just the first piece to break loose, but it's dragging everything else down with it. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, Nissan's executives are facing enormous pressure from the Japanese government to find a buyer or partner before the company's global network implodes. There are rumors of talks with Renault, their longtime ally, about a potential rescue package. But Renault itself is struggling financially and may not be in a position to save anyone. Others suggest that tech giants like Apple or Sony, both rumored to be exploring car projects, could swoop in and acquire Nissan's EV division at a bargain. If that happens, it could completely redefine Nissan's future. Imagine Nissan transforming from a traditional automaker into a tech-driven mobility company. No more gas engines, no more bulky factories, just electric, autonomous, software-based vehicles built under a new banner. It's possible, but it would mean the end of the Nissan everyone knows today. And let's not ignore the symbolic weight of this collapse. Nissan was one of Japan's great industrial icons, a brand that helped put the Japanese auto industry on the global map after World War II. For decades, Nissan represented reliability, innovation, and affordability. The Datsun era, the Z cars, the GT-R, all of it defined an age of automotive excellence. Now, it's being wiped away by financial mismanagement, bad leadership, and a failure to adapt to a changing world. Still, amid all the chaos, one thing is clear. Nissan's bankruptcy is a wake-up call to the entire industry. It's a message that no company, no matter how big or historic, is safe from the consequences of ignoring market shifts. The world has moved on toward EVs, automation, affordability, and efficiency, and Nissan got left behind. And the irony? While Nissan collapses, Chinese automakers are rising faster than ever. Brands like BYD, XPeng, and NIO are flooding global markets with cheaper, more advanced EVs that are eating up the very customers Nissan used to own. It's a brutal reminder that the auto industry is evolving faster than the old guard can handle. Those who fail to keep up disappear. But as Nissan fights for survival, a quiet revolution is brewing among buyers. People are finally realizing just how inflated the car market has been for years, and how much room there is for prices to fall. The bankruptcy might just blow open the door for a new era of affordability, transparency, and competition. And there it is. Nissan's shocking bankruptcy isn't just a headline, it's a turning point. A wake-up call for the entire auto industry and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for buyers who've been priced out for years. The collapse of one of Japan's most iconic brands proves that no company is too big to fail, and no market is too stable to crash. But as dealerships slash prices and the dust begins to settle, one question remains. Who's next? Will this be the start of a new era of affordable cars, or just the beginning of a bigger automotive meltdown? If you found this story eye-opening, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next major update in this unfolding automotive crisis. The car market is changing fast, and what's coming next could shake the entire industry even harder. Stay tuned, because this story is far from over.